You set me up for that, Allison. My name is Doug Fine. I'm Mark's first younger brother. Three others came after me, and I'm honored to be here to share, really from the family's perspective, a little bit about our brother. I'd like to thank you all for coming on behalf of Mark's grown-up family. You know, his grown-up family, then he's got this family he made on his own with Nancy. But we really appreciate that you came to share this time with us and with them. And we look forward to talking to you and letting us hear about how you knew Mark, because we only had him, you know, while we were living together. And he had a whole other life, of course. A much longer life with some of you than we had him. So we completely understand that. And it's just beautiful hearing the story. Like, I didn't know Mark wrote a letter to Allison on her birthday. Those kinds of things that we would just be honored to hear from you personally, how you knew Mark. And I think we're going to have name tags at the reception. And, you know, we don't hold back. We would love to hear from you and get to know you. I was going to start this, and so might as well. Roll up for the mystery tour. We've got everything you need, satisfaction guaranteed. What that says to me is, the magical mystery tour, we were trying to wonder, I was wondering about what was this family putting together for Mark. And when you think about life and how it really is for us, it's such a good description that those Beatles put together, a magical mystery tour. Why me of any of us? There's 7 of us left, and we don't really know. Someone said that I'm the next man, but the fact is I have 3 very strong sisters that could be up here, and I have anybody in my family could be standing up here as good or better than me. So why me? That's just how it fell. So I'm grateful to be here. Allison, I love how you just talked about laughter and Mark and laughter, because it's just a strange thing to be in this family that we attempt to make each other laugh all the time. That's what we do. It's like, who can say the next funniest thing that will make us just crack up? And I don't get that. I don't understand it, but it's a wonderful way to live together, you know? Like, I asked my family last night to come up with a few memories of Mark, and they all came in and they did their thing. And 5 minutes later, John comes in. My brother John, he comes in, he said, Doug, forget all that stuff I told you. Mark was creepy. You know, that's the kind of family we are. And it's like, God, that was just so funny, John. And we do it all the time, and that's just how we are. So we knew that we were going to come here and have laughs and have tears and have sorrow, but we knew that we were going to have love and affection and a lot of laughs together, and I hope we can laugh with you too today. We, each of us, have our own perspective. Mark was the oldest, so he got to see these. Just imagine this, you know, oldest, and then these kids just keep coming and coming and coming. And you know, ultimately it ended at 8, so he had 7 brothers and sisters that he wasn't expecting. And that's just a hoot to think that, you know, here he is, it's a, And so we each have our own perspective of Mark, because where are we in the family order, you know? So, like, Mark was born in 52, and Kurt was born in 66. So, Mark lived through the 50s, and Kurt lived through the 70s, really, you know, consciously. And so their perspective of life is just completely. We're in the same family, but the generations were clearly shown. So what I did is I asked each of my brothers and sisters to share a couple of memories, and a memory of Mark, and then maybe what they thought about Mark. So I really want to share that here. From my sister Maureen, Mark got me to slide down the back porch when she was 3.5 years old, and she wasn't sure, back porch railing. She wasn't sure if he pushed her or he just encouraged her to slide, but the end product was that she fell and knocked out 2 of her front teeth, and they were never the same again. And I probably, never mind. I think my dad probably figured that he pushed her. Okay. A memory of hers was Mark, and all of these, he was always willing to help with anything, always there when anything had to be done, and never complained. So true. Tricia had the memory of him driving with her friends, girlfriends. I think I was in the car occasionally, and TPing houses with her girlfriends. Just had a great time. And Trish believes that she never heard him say a negative thing about another person. My memories are many also, and these are just the highlights, but many of the family is going to mention his influence on us in music, and he was a huge influence on just enjoying music. I think we all wish we would have played an instrument eventually. I think he played the bass for a while, Mark did, but that was a huge influence on me. And just his ability to always be friendly and kind, no matter how often we talked or didn't talk with each other. That's a great memory of mine. Stuart said, this is sweet, sweet, sweet memory of Stuart's. Stuart would get nightmares, and he said it was always in the fall when they only played Wizard of Oz once a year on TV. And the monkeys freaked him out. And then he would go to sleep and dream bad dreams about him. But he would find Mark, and Mark was his boogeyman eraser. Whenever he felt scared, he was my shelter. That's what Stu said. And then he also said, Stu said about Mark, he instilled in me the love and passion for music, the eclectic way Mark loved every kind of music and so many different types. So that's Stu's memory. Andrea's memory comes down to the music too, and she so admired that he built a beautiful family, and she admired so much about how that family meant the world to him. John, again, the love of music deeply affected me. His albums. John said this, he loved life, and even though life is tough, he loved it. He kept a really great attitude considering how tough his life had become at times. And Dirty Kurt, the baby of the family. He has a recent memory of Mark just coming to his office, his hospital, and picking up some spoke candy when Mark made a trip up there with Nancy. And Kurt's memory is he was an interested brother. When we did talk, he was always interested in my life. Though we didn't talk a lot, it was always personal. Those are the memories of our family, brothers and sisters of Mark. Again, I'd really invite you to just don't be shy and approach us, because we may not approach you, but when you see our name tags and it says I'm the first brother or second sister or whatever, please come and give us a hug and tell us what you knew about Mark. I'd also like to thank the pastor of this church. I mean, any church that's going to let someone come up barefoot is a cool church to me, you know. And I think this church is a really great example of like in the scriptures it says, you know, become whatever you need to be for another person to win someone to Christ. And that's just what this church is evident to me, that the pastor didn't pound anything down our throats, and he probably won't. You won't, will you? But It's a wonderful place. So, Tim, you have a great church. And thank you all very much.